Hello and welcome back to another trade recap where we review the trade I took. This was a very good trade in my opinion. There was actually this pre-market position that me and someone I was trading with were looking at. It would have been something like this. That would have been a good trade in my opinion with this trend line liquidity here. Could have used this unfilled 5 minute as a TP. As you can see, that would have banged. But we didn't end up taking that position. We ended up taking one later on in the session. So as you know, if you're trading yesterday, this is yesterday, Thursday, the 11th of December trade. Excuse me. As you can see, we dumped down to the downside off open. I'm on the 3 minute time frame as that is the trade I took. As you can see, we went pushing down to downside consolidate here for about 15 minutes, and then we got the dump back down. Ended up sweeping out London low here. As you can see, that was London low. Create an SMT with ES. Now, I took this account on 3 alpha accounts. 2 risking 500, 1 risking 400 because one of them got a payout recently and it's whatever, it's down. The reason I risked different was because to give myself 4 or 3 trades, whatever it is, till I lose the account, I had to risk a little bit lower on one. But I end up holding for 2 hours on them all. I'm going to show you what I end up taking. So we end up holding this, London low SMT. But this Asia low did not get swept. And this was the reason I didn't take it on more accounts. Because of we didn't sweep out the Asia low. And to me, it's a good position. But the area we were reacting off, it's like a rejection block here, like a rejection wick. I don't take trades off them very often. As you can see, though, I did use it as a confluence as we tapped 50% of it, but I wasn't willing to risk a lot of capital on Top Step and Apexes on the accounts I copy trade together on this position, as I just wasn't as confident on the position as if we took out this Asia low. But it was still a very good trade in my opinion. I'm going to show why. We inverse this 3 minute gap. If I go to the 1 min, we're inverse. Hold on, give me a second. Come on. Oh, Jesus. There we go. We inverse this last 1 minute gap with momentum. There's a clear wick here that, in my opinion, we're looking to target, which is the start of a 5 minute or 3 minute gap, as well as a 5 minute unmitigated gap. And then there's 15 minute unmitigated gap up here as well that you could use as a TP level. Remember that 15 minute gap I'm going to show us. So this was the position I was looking for. I was looking for a price to at least go to that 3 minute unfilled gap there. As you can see, we entered when this closed because we had super good momentum. That was the reason I loved this trade, because of the momentum. I'm going to show you stop loss placement, as people did have a question on why I put my stop loss where I do. I ended up covering the low here of this fair value gap. So I'm expecting price to be honest, hold this inversion right here. I'm expecting price to hold that level, but I'm giving myself another 1 minute gap and another 1 minute gap down lower as cover as well. If they get violated, I'm happy not to be in this position. I don't need it down there on this position because there's loads. So for us to come back down, we'll have to come through a 2 minute unfill gap, a 2 minute gap, a 1 minute inversion, a 3 minute inversion, 2 1 minute gaps. If we go through all them, we're going to the downside, and I'm wrong about this position. I'm wrong about where price is going, and I'm happy to take my loss in this position. But that's why I put my stop loss right there. Then we end up, if I show price, pushing off. Straight away we hit 1 hour. But we were moving with super good momentum to the upside. As you can see here, we hit our 1 hour. But look at this candle close. This to me indicates we're at least going higher up to this 1 minute gap here, these order block areas here, and at least a 15 minute unfill gap. For me anyways. So as you guys know, if you're watching this and watch a lot of my videos, a lot of my trade recaps, I will go trail my stop, or I will trail my TP after 1 hour. But in this position here, because the momentum, this is one of the examples that I'll hold. I will hold this position. As you can see, price ended up coming back down. It's lucky we didn't go 1 hour, end up holding this level. When we made this order block here, I was super confident we're going to continue to the upside. I actually added to my position when this closed here, as I seen this a protected low. Didn't want price to come back to it after forming the order block. As you can see, price taps into the order block, pushes off again, Another protected low, straight to TP. So we end up hitting TP on this position, and we ended up making just under, it says 2.2R, we ended up making just 2R as our risk 500 and wanting to make a K for 40% consistency rule. So I held to that level right there. That was thumbnail, sorry about that. Because I always forget the thumbnail. But yeah, that was the trade we ended up taking. It was a reversal trade back to the upside. As I said, it was more of a pattern position. It wasn't AA plus in my opinion, because we didn't sweep out that Asia low. I would have preferred that Asia low to go before going up, but beggars can't be choosers sometimes, and in this position we didn't. There was actually quite a good 5 minute long here as well, so that was the trade we ended up taking. Made a K on 2 accounts and 850 on the other account. This 5 minute long was a position I would take as well. You'd be targeting at least this level here for 1 hour, and then you'd be going break even when we tapped into the 15 minute unfill gap here. As the 15 minute didn't make a fair value gap, you're expecting price to at least tap in that 15 minute gap. That is a trade I would 100% take as well, but as you can see, it would have been break even. Oh, you would have been kept in there, would you? Ooh, that would have been a techie one. Imagine you held that. Imagine you didn't go break even. Look, do we make equal lows? No, the relative equal. But if you're in that, you're sweating. But obviously I was not in that position. I would have been break even immediately. But that is another, in my opinion, good trades. If you took that trade, that's also a good trade in my personal opinion. The 5 minute long to at least the 15 minute unfair gap. But they were just the trades I seen yesterday. Was the 5 minute dump off open. That was a good position in my opinion. It was the second best. Obviously, the trade I took in my opinion was the best position. And then there was a few other positions like here, this long in PM session. If you took that right there, that could have been a good position as well. With this momentum, use the highest break even, and you probably would have got 1 hour, would you? We'll do it out here. You wouldn't have been break evened. Maybe. Probably not. You probably would have had to held. But you wouldn't have been break even unless your fill was really bad. But as you can see, you would have ended up hitting if you had held that position. Obviously, again, I did not take that position. I only took this 3 minute short from the bottom that I mentioned. So, peace out. Anyone has any questions about mentorship or the free Discord link is below. Make sure you come and get involved. Everyone in that is killing it recently. A few people getting a few good payouts. So, I'll see you in there, boys.